So hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today on this video I'll explain you the Supertest framework in a basic point of view. It is needed the Node.js in your system. So see that here I have Node version 22 and npm version 10.9.2. So this, if you don't have Node.js in your system, just navigate to the nodejs.org. Just download, click on download option, and here you can select your respective version, that your respective operating system, and select like what kind of thing you wanna use, and which node you wanna use: npm run engine, pnp run engine, yarn run engine, and just download the installer, or you can install the zip file also. Then we gonna use Mocha and Chai for assertion. Now you can see that in Mocha we have documentation here. So how that test case being right, and how you can install that Mocha on your system. If you want to install that globally, then that this command. If you want to install that locally on your project, then this command you need to use. We will use this command. Okay, and this is the actually standard writing syntax. For Chai, if I navigate to that API documentation, so here we have API documentation structure. So we're gonna use, this is the assertion. This assertion we're gonna use expect assertion we're gonna use. And also here also we have three types of assertion: expect, should, and assert. So let's start that. So we need to initialize the project, so we write that command npm init -y. It will take some time, it will initialize that project. See that here package.json has came. If you click on that, so this is that our package.json. So here now we need to install the dependency, so I need to write that npm install. Now we should use Supertest. We need to use Mocha and Chai for assertion, and save deb. That means will install this thing for inside our project, not globally on this system. So let's do it. So it will take some time, it will fetch that like all those resources from internet, and it will try to install that. Once like installation will complete, then we can see the node modules and dependencies on that our package.json. So yeah, so see that here 150 package has added, and see here the dependencies also added. And if you open the node modules, you can see that all those file and package log json that also came. We don't need to bother about it. We need to bother in the script, because if you want to run that script, then we have to use this command mocha test hyphen uh, as tick.js. Now why I have written this command actually, because inside that super test folder we gonna create another folder that is called test, where that our test script will be located. Okay, so inside that we can write our test cases in .js. So .js means we're gonna write that our test cases inside JavaScript. Now see, so that's why we have defined that our script here. Okay, now let's write that API test cases. So for that I need to quickly open that some open source APIs. Let me search here. So this is the link. So I got pet store. Let me open it. So here we gonna see some kind of free open source APIs. We'll try to write our test cases based on those these APIs. And so let's start that. So first thing is that all the test suits comes under describe block, and let me write that. So inside this block, now we need to use it option. So it mean is like all the test cases will be located inside that it. Okay, so describe is like a test suite, and every test case is called here it, comes under it. So and here we will create one variable, let base url equal to, and then we need to put that our base url. That base url we can copy it from here, Now we need to create a endpoint variable. Let me create that endpoint variable with let endpoint equal to. So our endpoint should be not this, because here we need to provide the pet id. So I think, let me expand this. I think this is my endpoint. Okay, so let me remove this last digit, and this is my endpoint. So we have defined our base url and endpoint. Okay, now we need to write that our command. Okay, so here let response, we'll check the response, and we'll check that body. So response equal to, now we'll put that await function, so it will wait until that our case is being completed. Super test, then our base url we need to put here dot, then our method name, what kind of method we wanna put here. We are using post method and endpoint. See here we are using post method and then our endpoint. Yeah, yeah, so that's all actually. Yeah, now we gonna see our response. So first we need to put that console.log and response body. Let's see that response is coming proper or not, and response status code. Yeah, so that's all. Now response status code should be equal to 200, but here we are seeing that it is showing 4 not 5. So let me try out quickly. Let me execute this from Swagger, and we can see that our response code is 200. That means it is proper. Okay, now we need to navigate to that our code, and we need to check that like our code is proper or not. And yeah, so let's come here. Now we'll remove that unnecessary code. Instead of that, we here we gonna use that response body on property id, because here id is present, so that's why we are using id here. Okay, now this is our test cases looks like. Let's remove that other cases and do some syntax correction. Yeah, I think still I am getting some error. So this arrow function we need to remove it. Let me remove this arrow function, javascript arrow function. Instead of that, I will use that normal function instead of arrow function. So let me write function. Here I can put the done and remove this arrow, and after this we are using done method. So why I have used done here, because done can like showcase these cases, test cases is complete. Now why I'm getting this await, so because it is, I need to use that async function here, so then that it will wait until that my process got finished. So here also let me remove this arrow function. Instead of arrow function I'll use that normal function here, and yeah, done. Our cases got done. So this is our test cases, guys. Let me re-execute this case and let me see. So let me put some message console log that our case is being successful, something like that, some message. Let me put it, test pass successfully. Yeah, so that's all, guys. So npm test install. So our cases got cases started executing it. So it is going on, see the test root, and we got some error message. My case is getting failed because I have got some 415 error code. So that means we have missed out something from our end. Guys, we have missed body data and header content parameter. So let me this header parameter we need to define, and this body we need to define. So this body is nothing but our payload, request payload. So let me copy it. We'll navigate to that our code, and we'll paste it, that payload, in our code. And again we're gonna check that our test case, guys. Okay, so let me navigate to, before started navigating, let me re-execute it. So it is proper actually. So let me copy it again and navigate to that our code. Now here let me create another variable, payload variable, and we are pasting that our payload here. Yeah, now here we need to pass that our payload inside our test script. So after endpoint, let me put dot send. So we are defining the payload, and also we are using a header. So set dot accept, so that is our header. So let me do some arrangement so code will look beautiful. Yeah, so now it looks beautiful actually. So let me rewrite it with proper context. After that header we are sending the payload. Yeah, so that's all. Let me recheck. This is our payload, this is our header. And so guys, this is our header. We are setting that our header, and then we are sending the payload. Now let me check these cases is getting passed or not. So guys, this case is also is getting failed. Why it is getting failed? We are getting that proper error, proper message, and everything is proper, because we are getting timeout error. So because of that we are getting timeout error, and this is happening because of this done. So let me remove this done method, and let me re-execute these test cases. So again that cases is getting executing. Now let's see, still we are getting some SSN error from chai. So chai property, so let me remove this part. Because of this we are getting assertion error. So here it should be 2 dot equal. So now our assertion part we have corrected. Let me re-executing that our case. Let me re-executing the case. Before that I have clear. Now let me re-execute that case. So cases is getting executed, and I got proper message that my cases is getting passed. So like that way we can create that our automation test script. Now this thing is not looking good. We need to define it with a proper framework structure, because here we have hard coded the value, hard coded that our headers, payload, base URL, this thing. Suppose if I want to use multiple test script, or multiple like this kind of URL and endpoint, then this approach is not proper. We need to define it, we need to create a basic structure of our framework, so it will be good. So what thing we can do, we can create one JSON file, and we can put that all those parameters over there, and we can call that parameter, and we can create, will create a good respective framework. So before that let me put that header here, and that is our content type. And instead of this thing, let me remove this, and let me call the header variable here. Okay, so instead of directly putting that header thing here, I have created one variable, and I have called that variable here. Okay, let me re-execute the test cases, see my cases is getting passed or not. So my case is getting passed, that means this approach is proper. Now what I'll do, I'll create a folders called data, and I'll create a JSON file, and I will put that all thing on that JSON, and then I will call that. Okay, so inside that we gonna create a file data.json. So this is our JSON file. So here we'll define that all that variables value there, all that like base URL, headers, payload value there, and we'll call that value from JSON file to here. So for that, I'll create one variable. So let me create a variable data, and inside this variable, we are pasting that, we are calling that our data.json. So I have used require, and then let me check that data.json is being called or not. So here what I have put it here, so I have put it that our data.json, and let me pass that payload function over here, so it should comes under block, and then we use one key, payload key. Let me define it, payload key, payload data, and then we gonna paste that our payload here. Okay, so this is that one JSON file, and here we will call that our payload data dot, that payload data, payload data. So like that way we can call that our payload from the data.json. And here let me remove this, and similarly, so if I navigate over here, if I click on definition, so it is not going because this importing is not proper. So let me do that proper importing here. Let me select the data, then slash data.json. Now it is properly importing. Now if I navigate mouse over this variable, so I can see that my payload data. Okay, now similarly, let me copy this header also, create a key, header data, and paste over here. Similarly, here we are calling the data dot header data. Similarly, we can define that base URL and endpoint also inside that JSON. So before here, I'll create one variable key. This is my base URL, and let me create that endpoint also. Remove this base URL hard-coded value. I'll call that base URL from data.base URL. And in endpoint also, let me put that endpoints. These all are our endpoints. So guys, these all are our endpoints for this script. Okay, because we have different thing, different script. So here we are calling this data dot endpoint. If I mouse over here, so I can see that my endpoints. So our script is ready properly. So this is our framework and script. Now let me rerun that. Let me clear that first our terminal, and let me run that our test case, and see that our test case is getting successful. So guys, this is the way. This is through this way we can hard code the value, and we can write that multiple script for API automation. It is similar like REST Azure, but here we have so many kind of changes are there. So guys, I hope this video is helpful. So I try to explain that Supertest framework in easiest way possible, and I have created a framework, Supertest framework. And guys, please subscribe my channel, help me to grow on YouTube. And if you have any suggestion, please comment down.